morning. I'm sorry, I wanted to speak in Malay, but then it's Sunday morning and my brain has just not fully functioned. And the reason I asked to go second is because, again, and I'm really tired and the caffeine is beginning to wear out. So before I fall asleep, I thought I'll just speak and get what I want to say across. But I hope you'll bear with me when I speak in English. A few months ago, the National Young Lawyers Committee, together with a few other organizations, we were asked to participate in a parliamentary select committee on national unity. And the country has a national unity panel. It is led by Dr. Maximus Alkili. And in that panel, there was a diverse group of parliamentarians of all backgrounds, really. You name it, they were there. And the group that I was with, National Young Lawyers Committee and the Center for Public Policy Studies, we tried to really put things in perspective. We tried to tell the National Unity Panel, maybe on the surface you might think everything is all right, but these are some of our concerns. But what really astounded me was the position taken by some of the parliamentarians. And then I realized why we have a lot of these simmering issues coming up as we move along. The first question that was put to me was, by this member of parliament from Sabah. They said, you say you represent Malaysians. Did you interview any Sabah, any people from Sabah, any Sabahans or Sarawakians? And this was in response to the Young Malaysians Round Table, which was officiated by Raja Nasrin Shah. And we told him, look, it was held in Kuala Lumpur. We did not check the background of each and every participant. And he said, then you shouldn't be speaking about Malaysians. You should be speaking about West Malaysia, Peninsular Malaysia. And then I had another member of parliament ask me, but why are you championing this? You are being very selective about your issues. What about the National Language Act? When the government said that we wanted to classify the national language from Bahasa Melayu to Bahasa Malaysia, why didn't you make a big noise? You guys are very selective, so... And the way it was done was to dismiss what we had to say. Fair enough, the parliament, Dr. Maximus said, no, let's listen to what they had to say. But the impression I got was that they were only paying us lip service. And that is what's been happening all this while. We have the executive saying, I'm listening, but how much can you listen? You have got to do something about it. Which then brings me to the challenges of the upcoming general elections and future general elections involving youth. The way I see it, there are certain key issues which must be addressed, and I hope the NYCC will lead this because I think it is in the best position to do so. The first I feel which ought to go is we have non-automatic registration, which I think it's wrong. Every civilized country, the moment you turn 18, or even 21 for that matter, you're already registered to be a voter. Only in this country you have got to go and fill up forms, you have got to provide documents, you've got to wait in queues just to be registered as a voter. And voting is a basic right. I find that quite troubling. And the fact is that you have to stand in queue, vote, give your details, and then they will confirm much later. And then also they have a cut-off point. So if you register maybe a month before the general elections, your name will not be on the electoral roll. You would be, they'll tell you, look, try next year, try the next round of elections. The voting age of 21 must also be looked into. We are able to drive when we are 17. In fact, we are able to get married I think the moment we turn 18. But why do we have to wait till we are 21? Before we can vote? I think that the earlier two examples are far more serious than decision-making issues than voting. And to me, one of the biggest disadvantages we face is voting based on your IC address. Say, for example, if you come from, let's say, Alostar or Kuala, and you happen to be working in Kuala Lumpur, or you happen to be working in the Klang Valley, you would have to go back to your respective town or where your address is for you to vote. And I think that is wrong. In this age where we claim to be an information technology hub, we tell the world that we are a developing country, we have all the best things in the world. I cannot see why we have to run to our respective homes just to vote. I'm registered in Kajang, and I live in PJ. So I would like to vote in PJ, and I went to the IC department, and I had this long chat, and he said, look, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You either change it to PJ, or go back to Kajang. And in Kajang, I have got to take 2 boats, 3 buses, just to get to the polling center. Because it's not that Kajang is an extremely Ulu place, but the way it has been gerrymandered, in the last election, I literally had to travel close to 10 kilometers from where I live just to vote. But moving on, the other problem which I think faces youth is that there are a lot of prohibitive legislation. I think the biggest draconian legislation is that the Universities Colleges Act, which to me provides a mechanism for the government to stifle critical thinking. I find it hard that we have got in foreign countries we have Club UMNO, we have got Club MIC, Club MCA. I'm not begrudging that. I'm for all of these clubs, really. If you want to have a Club UMNO, have it. But at the same time, you can't practice something else in a foreign country, and then when you are in your own country, say, oh no, we cannot. The students are only meant to study. They're not allowed to think out of the box. I'm a product of the old school curriculum. I was fortunate enough that my year, those born in 1975 and above, studied under the old curriculum system. The new curriculum system, KBSR, KBSM, introduced by Anwar Ibrahim, the then finance minister, the then education minister, to me, cut off what was critical in a lot of thinking. Young students no longer felt the need to think out of the box. It was so much about rote learning. The more you knew, the more you understood, the more A's you got. And the more A1s you got, the easier it was to get into universities and things like that. But what these draconian legislations do is that it stops youth from today trying to think out of the box. And that, I think, are some of the examples that we face. Moving on, what are the challenges that youth of today face? I think the inability for many youths today to participate in the democratic process is a key factor. Like the Malaysian Bar President